Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the magic coloring book mixed circus coloring activity right here. As you see right here, is I went ahead and drew an example right here, say of a clown, and basically though it's kind of like say drawing is like say like a reddish orange type of color highlight right here is the way I went ahead and drew the mouth, and I went ahead and include right here an example right here of an elephant. And with most of the time, with anybody that may say I'm like, if we watched from the previous coloring book activities I've done, is that talking about work that knowing about that you have right here is that is a clown right here. That would be like what you calls like you have one hand to where if they were getting ready to to do something, to do another trick, or if it's one the other hand is when a hand at where they've already done a certain trick and ready for the next trick it is. But basically though that like I mentioned before, if we were to be buying one of those practice coloring books as you have right here, I would head and have about see here about 11 I would say about see 5 4 5 6 7 8 about 8 different colors to work with, plus it's like with the crayons. And like with anybody, if we were to be buying any type of practice coloring books, I can remember doing this whenever I was a kid, that buy the crayons, and then you have like a coloring book, and then a lot of times that the crayons would disappear, and then they would actually appear on the drawing it is. And a lot of times, well, like when I mentioned before, of like my way of knowing about like talk about with saying with magic though, is basically is like if you would actually start from a blank piece of a paper like this right here, like say like a sketch paper right here, a sketch pad, and actually draw out a few pictures it is. And I went ahead and use like what says like animals and your circus clown, and then animals as like an example. And I'll go ahead and use right here as markers, mainly for like say is the highlight, like for the besides the strokes, but then other than the fill, if most of us have a worth like say a Photoshop program, but basically for like the outline, and of course with the filling, that I'm going to go ahead and use right here is the green for like say is the outline. I'll go ahead and draw right here is a little bit of say of the elephant right here. It's like if most of us like talking about if we can call out for what was our favorite say zoo animal, if our favorite animal. And a lot of times though that you wonder about how come that you hardly ever see bears at the circus. It's like that I can remember the circus that they used to have, that my family and I used to go to, that my parents and I used to take us to, and plus I think that the places that I think it was in St. Louis that they had to where that they would be places where they would perform circuses. A lot of times that there would be a circus going on, and a lot of times that I can remember going there, but then I'm trying to remember what all that I seen, and of course that was around the time that they, if most of us remember that the Missouri Family Arena, that I think some people may have called it. It's like the the Chickadome, or something like that. Some place where they it was like a big dome area where that they performed a few circuses out there, and basically that would have been about, I would say, about early 1996 whenever they took that down. But I can remember that my parents told me that they had a few circuses there whenever they first opened up, and knowing about this type of circuses though that they would have it to where that they would have, I say, the animals. And then if I can remember right, that my memories can maybe go on, but I'm basically talking about for what we see in this picture here of like you have right here is the elephant. And let's say in the background it could be like you have right here is maybe some audiences, and about right here that I went ahead and drew right here is like a hoop. And I can go ahead and switch colors here, go ahead and draw like say if there was a clown that would be holding the hoop right here, like talk about go ahead and jump through the hoop. But like say if there was like a clown that would be like say perform a few tricks for with a line, and if there would be a lion or a giraffe, you say they would be performing any type of trickery, something like that. And like knowing about that, that I'm sure anybody that it's like watches and knowing about that, yeah, that they're from their memories, from what they can remember, from whenever they seen at if it was a festival or if it was anything like a circus or something like that. But basically that yeah, way I went through this right here is that a cowboy or is that a clown? But I like, yeah, that anybody probably saying like, yeah, that talk about say use right here is the colors. I can go ahead and a lot of times anybody probably saying about that with most coloring books that they're magic coloring books. I went ahead and include right here is a box of 2 crayons, and with these crayons I can go ahead and like say from the other one is that talking about is like for the pot of gold of talking about is that right there's like a clown, and basically that with the clown they have like say makeup to where that they would change colors, stuff like that. And then right here that the type of magic that I'll be talking about right here is basically that we may see something on this on this drawing here that most of the time with most magic coloring books, the way I think about what I call kind of magic of knowing about is like the things that maybe that we do and what we see and we may not realize of knowing about how do we do that, such as that we may only see a clown right here. But then if I would actually use the red and then go ahead and kind of like give it like say it's like a thin stroke of knowing about that. See here, go ahead and draw is if it will be wearing any type of gown right here, and then with this gown right here that if it's like would say is a long sleeve, it's like be just doing a few things that we may not realize that knowing about that exactly about that something that. We are actually drawing on the picture that we're kind of like wondering. I'm like, how do we do that? And this right here, I can go ahead and use right here as the red, but go ahead and draw like say it's like some, I guess you call them rings or something like that. Like knowing about that, if I want to add like say a ring right here, and then go ahead and lightly use the red a multiple amount of times in the ring. And knowing about exactly about what type of patterns, of course, what types of effects, of course, it gives, to the clown. We may say, though, that you got right there is the red, and then if I want to go ahead and add, say, some effects, see, to the roundness, it's like, for like, if you call it like maybe the collar or something like that for, say, the uniform of the clown, if they would be juggling, and then from there, and go ahead and switch to the red crayons here. These brown. I'm like, yeah, the brick red. It says on here, for brick red. They go ahead and give it like say brick red, type color right here. And then for the hair, I was thinking about give it like say brick red, for the hair. But on your hand, knowing about that. Anybody that like what I was thinking, though, that with like I said before about a lot of the magic coloring books that we buy, that knowing about that, if there's a kind of magic coloring book to where that starts by like say a blank page, and then if you picture something such as a clown that's dressed in white or dressed in blue or something like that, or if you have a certain animal in mind that you want to see, actually draw it out. And I could tell anybody here, I had a dream one time to where that it was a magic hand that I could maybe draw it out too. Like if everybody here wants to kind of see it, but it kind of like it's not like the magic hand that we've seen like something from like I guess the Addams Family or something like that. But it was like a magic hand. And basically, though, with this magic hand, that if most of us have seen, like on those programs, such as Photoshop or Illustrator, is that a magic hand, kind of like this right here, to where that whenever you select the hand, and then it'll allow you to pick a certain part of say of the page and actually move it around, stuff like that. But the type of magic hand I was dreaming about at one time, look, kind of like this right here. To where that I can remember, seeing it. It was in my bedroom those couple years ago, and I can remember I was dreaming. This is not real, but I was dreaming that this was a magic hand, and I can remember that with this magic hand that it would be picking up stuff in my bedroom, such as the stuff that I'd forgotten to pick up from before. It would be picking up maybe some dirty clothes, or if it's anything that was on the floor that needed to be picked up, it would have, it would pick it up and lift it up, put it where it needed to go, or something like that. And then I can remember that, hey, I like it, well, why don't you, why don't we do, like I say, a design or something like that? And it would do a design, and one of those designs, I think, I don't know, was magic, color me or something like that, or if it was anything that's like, say, with the clown. And I can remember that one, in the dream note, I can remember, asking, for the magic hand is to create a math book, and I can remember that. Like exactly about, and then what happened? I'm like, the dream didn't last very long, but let's just say that with this activity right here, if it was talking about the dream, the dream, I can remember the magic hand was picking up a few pieces of paper, and then was handing them to me, and it was saying that hold them like this, just to perform this magic math book or something like that, and then count down a few problems, stuff like that, and talk, I say, for 4 times, and then 4 times 5 is like equals and stuff for long division, stuff, word problems like that, one and like 3/4 or something like that. But anyway, it was like a magic hand, and like with anybody that may say, I'm like, yeah, like it's like a magic hand that floats and actually picks stuff up off the floor, stuff like that. And anyway, I think about, I'm like, yeah, that are we talking about something from like like and I talk about like but other than that, like the type of magic hand I'm really talking about is like the type of magic hand that would actually, you would talk to it and it would actually do what you requested. And then knowing about anybody that may say, I'm like, yeah, that does that apply for, maybe as to put the dirty clothes in the laundry in the laundry basket, and then of course to pour the soap into the washer, and then to pick up the heavy basket of clean laundry and then fold it this way. But the type of hand that more likely that does stuff for you, all you have to do is just tell it what it needs to do, stuff like that. But on your hand, that knowing about that, it's like with certain type of tricks though. That the way I think about it is like with most of the time with that magic coloring books, is that knowing about that you give it, like say, a character, and then I can maybe go on with different ideas too, but let's just say that you have right here is the audience, and I know I got 2 different pictures here, but let's just say that I'm gonna go ahead and try to color in using, like say, is like the red and then the brown. If I can find the brown, which is in here somewhere, I'm gonna go ahead and try to draw some more details right here. It's like for the elephant right here, and basically that. The types of things that if we can maybe pick a color out of the whole stack of crayons or markers or paint, or whichever, for what we're working with, and knowing about that, type of magic kit that we can maybe buy one of these days. And I'm sure that they say they have something on the shelves nowadays to where that, it's kind of interesting, and knowing about the things that you can actually do within a amount of seconds, and knowing about, really what is really called magic, and knowing about whenever you tap on the page, like whenever you tap on the page, and then the next thing you know it's like you say you tap on the page. So it's like you say you tap on the page, like you tap on the page, and then you talk about like you tap on the page. It's like you tap on the page, and then a number of things that may happen in seconds. And knowing about you have right here is like with the elephant right here. Knowing about is like, like by the time you start somewhere, and then it's like you tap on the page, and then you may start doing you say it's zigzaggy, and then knowing about if you keep working on your work and knowing about exactly about what it does right here. You have right here is the details right here that I'm putting in right here, for the elephant. And like with anybody that may think that I'm like the type of magic coloring book that we may see one of these days, and knowing about that really about for how they're licensed and how they work. I know about the type of magic coloring books to where the colors appear and then they disappear, stuff like that. But knowing about right here, as you have right here, is like with the elephant. With the elephant right here, you tap on the page, and then all of like so and knowing about it's like with the more color. The more color that appears to say on the picture it is. Like with anybody that may say I'm like talk about safe with magic so far as for magic. But other than that, you have right here, you got the elephant. For the amount of time it takes just to draw something real realistic. And basically that really, if that's what it's really all about, knowing about that it's like talking about it's like for how much time. And of course you say when you tap on the page and it goes like this right here, for how long it takes to draw as much detail realistic possible you can do. And we talk about say if it matters, if it happens within a matter of seconds. But on your hand too, that knowing about right here, you have right here is like for the elephant right here, you say tap on the page, and then for it's like wondering, I'm like, how do you begin? And then you just start doing a few things, strokes and stuff like that, and knowing about exactly, how did I do that? But knowing about, I'm like, you just, some people probably say, just go with the flow. But other than that, like talking right here, the 2H graphic, pencil, you say you tap on the page, and then all of a sudden, it's like you start drawing, and then a few times, you press a little lighter, and then you do a little darker. And then like if this right here, it's like say if is the shadow right here of the elephant. And then from there, the types of things that more likely that we could be doing is say with our artistic skills and our writing skills and knowing about exactly. I'm like, for how did I do that to where that I didn't know exactly where the shadow goes and how it was drawn or stuff like that. And I can tell anybody here, I was not looking at no pictures whenever I drew this right here. I was actually picturing in my mind that basically that the basic steps for what you gotta do other than just tap on the page right. Alright, then it's like if you tap on the page, you have right here is maybe some audiences right here that will be say watching the circus. And with this audience right here, you got a few people right about right here, and then let's just say you got right here's a hoop, but let's just say if there's like something that that the elephant can play with, to say on the top right here, knowing about place where that if they were to do a certain type of trick or something like that. But this right here could be, it's like that just a shape right here, but then if we like tap on the page, and then we can maybe do a number of things. Like anybody know I'm like exactly like what are you talking about? But other than that, like right here, like really, what is this supposed to be right here? Well, I like go ahead and add as much detail to it and see what you do if you were to position a marker like this and just like what you call, if some people may say is like so far as doodling. I know about like the things that more likely that they think that they can do with the marker, such as go ahead and add a few say outlines right there, and then from there, and then go ahead and use right here is like the green metallic colors, like so far tap on the page, and then you do a number of things such as okay, go ahead and add this color right here, see what happens. Go ahead and try this right here, try this shape right here, this design, see what happens. And what you got right there, I like it, looks kind of like a cloud, but then on the other hand, if we go ahead and put a little bit more talented work into it, about right here, what we see right here, it looks like a stage. It looks like a cloud, and then it looks like what you call, maybe go ahead and add, maybe some people on the top or, something like that. Go ahead and draw right here as a head, and then I'll want to say maybe some animals. May see a few animals on say on the top, something like that. And then maybe like it's like talking about like with with the flame. I'm like, yeah, like anybody probably say fire is dangerous, but on the other hand, that you may see that at some point, but they say it's like talk about it's like with the circus, you need tricks that they may show, but I don't know. I guess they say that maybe that you may see that, like say in a festival or someplace like that, but anyway, on this next page right here of talking about, say tap on the page. And I'm going to go ahead and use right here of besides you see the charcoal, I went ahead got the charcoal pencil right here, but I'll just go ahead and use a little bit of charcoal pencil right here as like for the magic hand. But then you have right here is like say with the line, it's like with this type of zoo animal right here with the line that I'll go ahead and right here. The line, and then see here, I went ahead and added a line, and then whatever animal that I would maybe like to add, like maybe a giraffe, like something that you may see. It's like for Madagascar, like anybody has seen your life in the movie Madagascar. But anyway, I said like a tail, like say a giraffe right here. Like it has a real long neck. I'm like, yeah. I talk about like with most of the time with most animals I've known about like like if there's a giraffe, and if like say tap on the page and then go ahead and give it like say it's like type of a color right here, and then that for like say the lion. The way I'm holding the crayon, of course, is like from my position, but from the position from how I'm able to hold it, but. Let's just say if you want to go ahead and add some details right here, it's like for the line, and then from how it's drawn. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and use right here is the green, and then the blue right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the marker right here. Is to go ahead and use the green marker right here, and let's just say that like in the background, such as like we say if I were to go ahead and tap on the page, is that knowing about. If I were to start right here, if I want to start right here, it's like maybe the ticket booth or somewhere like that. I'll just go ahead and draw right here as a roof right here, and let's just say if this was like let's say it's a ticket stand right here. At the time, like one of these markers are wearing out, but anyway. I talking about like how would you be able to go ahead and draw something whenever that marker's about worn out? But I'm like exactly the type of magic that we may see with that. And I'm like see here it's like tap on the page, and I think about you may not see exactly for what's going on. But on the other hand, if I would go ahead and add right there, and then go ahead and switch right here is like for the crayon, and see what happens. Like if I were to go ahead and right here, if I want to go ahead and right here is like for tap on the page. If right here, like go ahead and add some detail right here. Go ahead and add the roof right here. With the roof, like that type of design it may be on a rooftop. And a number of things that more likely that we could be doing, just by if we were to actually relax and hold the crayon and then drawing utensil in place, and knowing about the types of things that we can do with like just by being creative with it, knowing about what we picture in our mind, and of course knowing about our talents, and knowing about exactly where is this supposed to be right here. And I'll go ahead and lightly right here draw the scenery right here. It's like if this clown right here were to be standing at a position, and like with anybody that may say that the type of position that maybe they could be standing at, that they are standing in a circus, entertaining the kids or stuff like that. But I tell you one thing, I can tell anybody that entertaining the kids may seem like real hard work, but on the other hand, I'm like depending on what your appetite is, but on the other hand, I can go ahead and see here, add a little bit right here, like detail right here. It's like for the ticket stand, and from here, and then go ahead and add like here is like like if the the audience were to be at about right here, I don't really have like say a real sharp point, like a real fine point. It's like with the crayon here. But go ahead and draw say some actual people. I'll go ahead and switch sides right here. Go ahead and draw say as a head right there, and if there was actually people standing sitting at about right here. But other than that they have right here, like yeah, sometimes that whenever you go places that some stuff that's going on, it's kind of hard to see. I've known about for what the camera was able to capture and all that other stuff, but knowing about is like talking about say with the magic of coloring book mixed circus is knowing about that I'll go ahead and do right here is that my favorite color has been blue as far as I can remember, and I'll go ahead and add right here, like besides say is the red, is like go ahead and put right here's a blue outfit right here for the clown, and then I'll go ahead and add right here, it's like say a little bit of coloring right here, it's like for the block, and this will be like say a magic trick and all of yeah. And I could tell anybody here the stories. I can remember whenever I was young, there would be like these assemblies that a lot of times this guy, I think it was at the elementary school I went to, that they would be telling you a story about a children's book and basically talking about if it was about that. Yeah, if it was about a story about maybe a genie, or between the genie and then the leprechaun, or if it's the witch or something like that, is that they would have like say it's like a wicked witch or somebody in it, like a wizard or something like that in the story, and basically there was this guy that was talking about a story, and basically it was during the assembly. But I can remember it would last for about maybe for at least maybe an hour or something like that. But each time he would talk about the story, he would be like this, like I said stop, I said, or something like that. He would be talking about a story that about from this character that went from door to door, and then this person who had this power, and I'm gonna hey, like you stop, boy, you stop right there, boy, or something like that. And I can remember during the assembly though that the guy will be talking about that whenever if the like what you call it, the I guess they call it maybe the bad genie, or if it's the good genie or something like that, if they would actually if they had gotten caught on something or anything like that, and then the guy would actually be holding his leg or something like that, and be like, oh no, like that was not supposed to go. But other than that in the assemblies that they would be talking to you about a certain part of the story that would be going on, and basically that it kind of reminds me of knowing about that they would be telling you about a story, and then like I wonder who did that or something like that. But other than like say based on say on Sesame Street, but knowing about types of tricks that more likely it's like we could do it, knowing about if it's between like what says the type of a zoo animals, and or if it's farm animals or anything, animals like that, and I'm like besides using a lion, and then I use the elephant, but then if it's like say it's like maybe a zebra, I'm like I was thinking about go ahead and do say a zebra, but right here is like a zebra, and I'm like drawing these without looking at no pictures, and sometimes that's hard to do because knowing about exactly that whole purpose, I guess, about magic, knowing about how real that you want to go ahead and make it, just by picturing it in your mind. And but right here, I'm trying to make it look like anything like a cow or anything like that. But anybody might say about it. You start out say with the outlines, and basically that types of things that you can do with the colors. And I'll go ahead and add like the metallic. This is the blue or something like that. Right there's the blue, and this will be like say a zebra, or if you want to go ahead and look at it, maybe it's like a cow, but I guess I could go ahead and look at it as like it's maybe a cow, but it's supposed to be like say a zebra. Zebras, I guess, are supposed to have like say maybe a maybe a tail, and of course you say black stripes, stuff like that, but say maybe a little mane and then a nose and stuff like that. But Anyway, but you have right here is these two animals right here, and with these two animals, and like if we were to actually create something like that, maybe on Photoshop and doing all kinds of other tricks as well. But alright, and that I talk about right here is like with the elephant, and then as they would say with the clown, I'll talk about right here. I'll talk, I say, the type of magic tricks, and all about, say, for the magic coloring book, make a circus, as they say, talk about, say, with the color activity. Well, hello everyone. You're talking about right here is the Magic Coloring Book Mixed Circus. Is basically right here is like man mentioned before. I'm talking about, say, the fun and activity of knowing about right here. Is you have right here is like a number of things that I talk about is like with the, say, with the animals, and then with the clown, and then say with the magic hand. And basically that like we talk about right here, maybe the things that maybe we can do. It's like if it's like what you call maybe between the tap on the page, knowing about the things that maybe we can do within a matter of seconds. And sometimes we may not realize knowing about is like for what we picture in our mind. Basically, if it's like what you call maybe starting from a blank page and then going right here is like I'm working with a number of pictures right here. And I'll tell you by here, I was not looking at no pictures whenever I was drawing these, and then of course working the pages, but on your hand that basically talk about right here from magic, from whenever they appear, whenever they disappear, knowing about talk right here like the top of activity, knowing about is like for basic fun skills of, let's say, for knowing about for what we can do. It's like for knowing about for how much time I know about, say, for what we can do like with the artistic skills, and basically it's like with the coloring of it. Talk about, say, for what's called like for real magic, and knowing about like right here like basically about the fun. I'm talking about, say, the Magic Coloring Book coloring circus.